Meanwhile, Kari's got the next myth in the bag.
Check this out.
What's with your dirty laundry?
It's not mine, it's theirs. Remember we asked the fans to send us their socks?
Yeah, exactly. The fans wanted to know what happens to their missing socks in the laundry.
Well, yes, that was the original idea, but I think we're gonna have to make a little last-minute change here.
All right, so what's the change?
Well, check this out. Dear MythBusters, here's some socks of mine, but rather than the washing test, can you use them to test the phrase, "It knocked my socks off"?
I like it.
Yeah, take a look. A lot of these letters say the same thing. They want us to test that phrase.
Well, if the fans want us to test the knock your socks off idiom, who are we to deny them?
Sounds good to me.
This sock it to 'em saga comes from the world of boxing, when a particularly powerful pugilist was said to be so strong he could knock someone clean out of their socks. But is it really possible?
All right, knocking your socks off. I mean, this is a weird one, but I like it. What's the plan?
Well, since this idiom has its roots in boxing, I think we definitely need to start with some sort of heavy impact punch. And that pretty much rules any of us out.
Okay, I got an idea. Let's get the nitrogen cannon from the superhero special, but instead of firing a grappling hook, we reconfigure it to fire a fist, giving Buster the biggest uppercut of his life.
Well, you know what it sounds like to me. It's time for the main event. Go to your corners.
In a long line of lethal inventions, Grant says this is one of the most dangerous he's ever built. But will it do the job on Buster?
So, to deliver the kind of punch that might knock Buster's socks off, I've taken this out of retirement. It's our nitrogen cannon from the superhero special. We fired a grappling hook to try and turn the Batmobile around a 90-degree corner.
We hit it!
And today, Grant is modifying the cannon to blast a killer punch to Buster's jaw, while Tory's turning out the all-important fist.
So what I have here is a solid steel rod that's gonna go into the cannon. On the end of it, I'm gonna attach a rubber fist. So I'm gonna be using a high-density, high-impact resistant rubber. I'll be able to weld it to the punching rod, we'll stick it into Grant's cannon, fire it up at Buster's jaw, and see if we can knock his socks off.
But right now, just pulling Buster's socks off is a problem.
Now, this is what a sock getting pulled off a human's foot looks like.
But a rubber Simulate dummy provides a slippery solution.
Now, the Simulate has similar properties as a human body. The sock just slips right off, but the Simulate is not strong enough to withstand the kinds of impacts that we're gonna be testing with. So what we need to do is transplant his legs onto Buster's body. Oh, we also wanna thank Corporal Christopher Edwards for sending in his socks to help us with this demonstration. Wash your socks, Corporal. Leg.
So Surgeon Tory goes leg for leg,
Leg.
Not that leg, the other leg.
trading body parts.
So, Doctor, do you think it's a success?
Yeah. Let's just hope his body doesn't reject the transplant. Nice work.
But even before the fists start flying, Kari's worried about collateral damage.
Last time we tested Grant's nitrogen cannon, we shot a hole through our wall and into our neighbor's space.
Might have to go have a chat with them.
So we thought, hey, maybe this time, a few safety measures.
And after a couple of mattresses are roosted in the roof, the scene is set for round one of this myth.
All right, pal. This is your big chance. Don't blow it.
Previous research says that a heavyweight boxer can pack a punch of 4,000 newtons.
Pressurizing.
So to match that kind of power, Grant primes up his pride and joy for the Knock Your Socks Off Rumble.
Okay.
Knock him out of his socks? I think that this is actually just powerful enough to make that old boxing adage true.
But Grant ain't convinced.
I think that no matter how high we go with this cannon, no matter if we go through his head and punch a hole in the ceiling, none of that is going to be capable of knocking his socks off. I just think that there's too much body. You know, we're talking about a punch to the chin. To get that to translate all the way down to his shoes and kick out and blow his socks off, no way.
Let's not pull any more punches and get this show on the road.
In the red corner, the hunk made of junk, weighing in at 186 pounds. Don't call him a dummy, Buster! Now, in the blue
what could be the all-time haymaker from hell.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
PSI was really intense.
Yeah, we took out the lights.
Woo!
That was some punch. But it's clear that amidst the carnage, Buster's socks stayed put. But only just.
Whoa.
Take a look at this. Look, the socks slightly got dragged off.
Now that's what I call taking it on the chin. The punch not only sent Buster barreling backwards, it ripped off one of his shoes, partially dragging a sock with it. But it's not enough to call the myth a winner.
So according to the high-speed footage, the nitro punch accelerated the fist to a final speed of 22.2 meters per second, giving us an overall force of over 6,000 newtons, which is 50% more than your heavyweight prize fighter's best punch. And even at superhuman punching strength, it still wasn't enough to knock Buster's socks off. But you know what? The cannon's reputation is still intact.
Now, I'm not saying that this is busted. All I'm saying is right now it's not looking good for the myth. But let's say it wasn't a boxer that knocked the person's socks off. Maybe it was something bigger with more power. Sorry, Buster, we're gonna have to wake you up. We got more experimenting to do. Get up, buddy.
Kari, Tory, and Grant are trying to literally knock someone's socks off. A KO to the kisser put Buster down for the count. And just about totaled the workshop.
We knocked Buster out.
So now the team is ramping up outdoors with more power.
Look at the size of this thing. Buster is gonna be hating it.
More power means more force, and possibly a greater chance of knocking off Buster's socks.
This is a gravitational potential energy pendulum, and normally it's used for testing highway safety barriers. But today, it's gonna be our battering ram. We're gonna use it to try and knock Buster's socks off.
But before Buster gets put in the firing line,
You can get off the brake now.
No break.
the team wants to see how powerful the pendulum of destruction is.
Can't wait.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
That might knock Buster's socks off.
Come on, let's see.
Although the pendulum's impact is actually slower than the flying fist, because its mass is so much greater, it's able to deliver over 20 times the force of the nitro cannon. That's one hell of a punch.
Look at that.
I mean, this was enough to lift this van and shift it back about 4 or 5 feet.
Which, in a cracked nutshell, is not good news for Buster. Kari, Tory, and Grant are busting Buster's chops, trying to knock him out of his socks.
Yeah, we took out the lights.
Now they're winding the carnage up a notch at a car clobbering crash test station.
And these guys know how to wreck stuff. They smashed our moose, they smashed our trailer, and they smashed our fruit stand. Now they're gonna smash Buster.
So while the team dresses Buster in a pair of everyday shoes and socks,
And by the way, thanks to Andrew Paris of Houston, Texas, for letting us use his socks.
and knocked out of Andrew's socks or not, it's clear that Buster's in for a torrid time.
This is Knock Your Socks Off experiment. Buster in shoes and socks versus battering ram. In 3, 2, 1.
The shoes didn't come off at all.
Let's see if they loosened it all.
That's a pretty massive hit.
Dang, that looked like it hurt.
Yep, that's a definite ouch. Buster just got walloped with 17,000 pounds of body-breaking force. But did his footwear fly? Not this time.
Look at that. They're not even loose. I bet his joints are looser than the shoes.
It looks like he's still in good shape.
Should we set him up and go for another test?
Yep.
We just dropped a pendulum that weighs almost a ton straight into Buster's chest and knocked him back 40 feet, but we were still unable to knock off his shoes or his socks. But we're not done yet.
Seen on the last test, these shoes stayed on, but what if he's just got his socks?
Maybe the shoes are holding the socks on.
Sounds like Buster's in for another bashing.
Socks back up.
So with Buster's feet supporting his own weight, the pendulum is once again lifted to full height for full knock your socks off power.
Okay, here we go. This is Buster with socks only versus the pendulum. In 3, 2, 1.
His head came off.
But look, one of his socks is knocked almost completely off.
Yeah, but still technically on.
Yeah, he didn't get knocked out of him
Oh,
necessarily.
you guys are so hard to satisfy.
Maybe Kari should take a look at the high speed before she gets carried away.
Here comes the pendulum.
That's all I did.
Woo!
Look at his feet go straight back, but his socks haven't come off yet. Wow.
Still on.
Oh, there it is.
It's dragging along the ground. It's not knocking him out of his socks.
Okay, so that doesn't count.
No.
Confirming this myth is turning out to be as tough as Buster's stay-put socks. But before ditching the bash and crash method altogether, Kari's got one last outrageous idea.
Now, this suggestion came from a fan. Apparently, he lives in really hot climate and the asphalt gets really sticky. So, best case scenario, Buster's shoes get stuck to the asphalt, it's really hot outside, and then he gets knocked out of his socks. But instead of using glue to make it sticky, I'm actually screwing his shoes down to make sure that they stay stuck.
His shoes should stay. Hopefully he'll go.
That's the idea.
Now, hopefully, it pulls the socks off.
All right, let's go.
So, can this be the moment? Will socks resistance be no match for a screwed down shoe and let Buster's bare feet fly free?
All right, this is the fan request. Sticky shoes stuck to the ground. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
I can't tell if his socks are on or not.
This time, Buster's head sure took a beating. But his socks clung on for the ride.
Look, he left his hand over here.
His shoes are still there.
Yeah, but let's see about the socks.
Ah, the socks are still on. We were unable to knock his socks off.
So even under massive impact and with screwed down shoes, the socks stayed put.
Yeah, but we can't bust this now. I mean, I don't think we've tried hard enough to knock him out of his socks.
No, I think we need a new technique, something a little bit more.
Or in other words, this ain't over till it's over.
Good work, buddy.
And the MythBusters are going in search of more power. Socks. Sometimes they just seem to have a mind of their own. But can they ever be knocked off your feet?
Okay, so far Buster's lost a shoe, but no socks.
Yeah, the impact doesn't seem to be working out. It seems like you're gonna need a massive amount of force to get those socks off.
I think you're right, and I think I have just the thing.
What?
Explosives. Surprise? You didn't see that one coming.
Seriously?
Yeah, there have been cases of people getting their clothes blown off from an explosion, yet they survived the blast. So, socks or clothes, I say we test this one.
Okay, well, let's go to the quarry and take, say, like, I don't know, 500 pounds of explosives.
I like 500.
Get some mannequin legs, put some socks on them, and then we'll put them at different distances from the center of the blast.
Round 3. Knock your socks off with an explosive shockwave. And you couldn't have picked a nicer day for it.
Wow!
Oh my
gosh, this is awesome. All right, you guys ready to map out the grid for our experiment?
Sounds great.
X marks the spot.
This is just like making crop circles.
I know, exactly.
The mannequin legs are going to be screwed onto these stands, then positioned on a circular grid at various distances from the explosion.
This is the blast center. This is where we're gonna be setting off a 500-pound explosion. Hopefully that blast will give us enough power to knock off the socks. Now, we're gonna put our first set of legs 15 feet away from the blast, then 25 feet, 35 feet, 45 feet, and finally 55 feet away. This way we have a variety of distances from the blast, because the closer you are to the blast, probably the more likely that your socks are gonna get knocked off. But let's face it, if you're standing too close to the blast, I'm sure you're gonna lose more than just your socks.
Which is why the team are now adding "and living to tell the tale" to the knock your socks off myth.
So in addition to knocking your socks off, a big part of this myth is survivability. And we measure the force of an explosion in pounds per square inch, or PSI. Just to give you an idea of what we're talking about, at 2.5 PSI, you're likely to rupture your eardrums. And we've calculated with 500 pounds of explosives at a range of 20 feet, you're gonna experience over 100 PSI, which means a very high likelihood of death.
To measure exactly where that lethal pressure kicks in, Grant is assembling some super sensitive equipment.
This is a burst disc made by our friends at Osico. It's a very thin metal membrane that's calibrated to rupture at 100 PSI. It's very simple. The pressure wave comes in here. If it's less than 100 PSI, the disc remains intact. But if it exceeds 100 PSI, it actually blows through here, leaving a hole. Now, if this is still intact at the end of the experiment, and we've blown the socks off, then there's a real chance of confirming this myth.
Meanwhile, Kari and Tory dull out the dummies.
We've specifically designed these legs to give us every opportunity for a successful sock blast removal. Now we've got 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot in the air as if you were running or walking. That way if a sock is gonna come off in either of these positions, myth is confirmed.
And just to mark this explosive occasion, the official MythBusters sneaker.
They're blast zone shoes.
I like them.
And one of our fans hand knit an entire box of socks for us.
Thanks big time Patience Boyd of Somerville, Massachusetts. At each foot station, some feet will have your socks and shoes,
How's that fit, man?
and others just socks.
S15. That means sock only at 15 feet. That way when these get blown to smithereens, we might be able to track where they came from.
We're all set for the final experiment for Knock Your Socks Off. And I am standing in the blast center where we are gonna set off 500 pounds of AMFO.
And when that goes off, these pressure-calibrated burst discs are gonna tell us the likelihood of survivability at 15, 25, and 45 feet.
Then once we've gathered our data from wherever it lands in the quarry, we'll be able to determine whether you can knock your socks off with an explosion.
But before they push the plunger, the team needs 2 more vital ingredients.
Cool.
First, the fire department.
You know what they say, safe exploding is good exploding.
And the explosives,
Here comes our AMFO.
courtesy of retired FBI agent Frank Doyle.
So it looks like you guys have a package for us.
Oh, I brought you a really nice package.
Info, right?
Oh, that ought to do it.
That ought to knock some socks off.
You better believe it. And if any socks are going to get knocked off soon, this is the stuff to do it.
This is 500 pounds of AMFO. Just to give you an idea, it took 800 pounds of AMFO to completely vaporize a cement truck. The explosives are in place, the legs are in place, the burst discs are connected. It's time for us to run away and let Frank and the bomb squad do their final preparations. And then it's boom time.
Out at the quarry, the Knock Your Socks Off squad have wisely taken themselves to higher ground and way out of the blast zone.
Our blast zone is set up way, way, way over there, but we've decided to come really, really far back to make sure all MythBusters, big and tiny, are perfectly safe.
So in order to confirm this myth, we obviously need to have a foot with no sock on it, but it also has to be in the radius of survivability. Now what I think is anything that's within 50 feet of this blast, bear in mind this is 500 pounds of ammo, is just gonna be completely obliterated. Okay, you guys, the explosives are ready, the legs are in place, the bursters are set to go. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. You ready?
Absolutely.
All right, this is knock your socks off using a 500-pound explosion. Everybody look alive. Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
That was awesome!
Wow! God, the delay on the boom hitting you in the chest is incredible.
Sick! All right, let's go check it out.
Remember, to confirm this myth, the team needs to find a sockless foot in a critical zone of human survivability.
Whoa!
Look at the size of that crater.
Oh, wait, here's a sock.
Wow.
Ugh.
Oh my God, there's a foot inside.
It's still in there. That's disgusting.
I don't think this counts.
No, that's definitely not blowing your socks
Dude.
off.
But a closer look at the blast zone reveals some explosive results.
Check it out! No socks!
What distances? What are they?
25 foot, and this is 15 feet.
Well, they finally managed to knock some socks off. But would a human be walking away?
Yeah, you're probably not gonna survive this if your socks came off.
Well, wait, here's the pressure disc. Let's see what it says.
Okay, 25 feet.
That's blown.
That's blown.
And a double check of the discs confirms that up to 35 feet away, this bang would have sent a mere mortal to Kingdom Come.
So that's not survivable. That doesn't count.
But at the minimum survivable radius of 45 feet, yep, they're still on.
We've got 45, we've got 55, and the socks are still on. So we have no survivability at the front, but we lost a few socks. And then as you get to the zone of survivability, we still have our socks on. I think that gives us both of our criteria for calling this one busted.
Yeah, this is totally busted. I mean, if your socks do get blown off, you're pretty much dead.
Yeah, you wouldn't be walking away from that.
This was cool, though.
You might say it was a blast.
This has been a great experiment from the beginning to the end, and we've come away with some solid evidence to bust this myth. There's no way you can knock somebody's socks off and have them survive. It's just not possible. This one is busted.